You're live.
Okay, so welcome to Red Room Live. I hope this goes pretty bad, and we end up without sound, image, or something like that.
It's always. I think there's sound. This is moving here. This is a test, so I don't have to do the very little editing that I usually do. So
Yeah, but you don't have filters. I look better on Zoom. Not liking this one, but well,
okay.
That's life. So news. We noticed that there was something wrong on the news. Wretched New
Flash. Yes, there was a page missing, or a page and a half missing. Information about skills, how to roll skills, and which ones were the basic skills, and something more.
Introduction of skills.
Yeah, just introduction. It's always the same thing. So
yeah, the funny thing is that it was proofread by 4 different people this time, and nobody noticed that.
Yeah, probably that's the reason.
Yeah, I already knew that part should be okay, so I just skipped it.
Yeah,
bad me. I won't do that next time.
So that's not the first time that some things happen, typos and small stuff, but this one was a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a big book.
Yeah, it's a big
more
book.
Expensive than the other ones.
370 something pages, and now it's 2 pages larger because I inserted 2 pages, of course. So that part is already corrected, but obviously some people have bought it, so they bought. I think they bought the original version, unless Lulu didn't work last week. They are working very little, I think.
Very
not
slow.
Very slowly. Not just the shipping, but also the printing. It has taken much longer than before. I don't know if it's the summer or if it's something else. But this is one of the reasons. Not just the mistakes. Also, this it's taking a lot of time, and because of that, the proof copies take a lot of time to get here, or even somewhere else. I've tried sending the proof copies to other people that I know in other places, where it should be quicker, in the US and the UK, but not really. It takes a long time.
So let's cut the story short. So we decided that from now on we're not going to put books available on print on Lulu right away.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to wait for a month just in case something like this happens again. Then to make sure that we have time to fix the copies, and that you guys don't end up buying a print copy that is fucked up, basically.
Yeah. So I'm going to replace the copies that. I think there were 3 copies that were bought. The first version with those mistakes. Obviously, I don't want to do this lots of times. It's probably safer for several reasons, especially that one. But there are always minor things that can happen.
Little typos.
Yeah, the small typos, not just big lots of information. Or small typos, and I'm going to correct them as I always do, but I don't worry too much about the printing, because if it's just small typos, I'll just let it go. I correct in the PDF, and people are supposed to get both. By the way, that's something that we should recall once in a while. If you go and buy the books on Lulu, it's impossible to give you the PDF through there. But if you want the PDF anyway, you ask it from me. You ask it from me somewhere else, on Twitter or Facebook, whatever. Leave a message somewhere, and I'll send you a PDF copy. Because it's useful in this case, because I always correct mistakes and typos when someone notices them, or myself, of course. And I do those corrections on the PDF. Eventually, I will replace the document, the file on Lulu, not on drive-through. I'll explain next why.
Also, drive-through are a pain in the ass.
I always replace what I replace it later, and if you have already purchased it, I don't think you are going to buy another book just because there's a typo. But okay, you can check it on the PDF. So if you are buying somewhere else, and at this moment is just at Lulu, I think there will be very soon print on demand also on Big Geek Emporium. I think there are already tests starting, but I'm not sure when it will be available. Anyway, it will happen. So as for drive-through, why I don't, it's another problem. So Lulu takes some time, but if you upload the file through Lulu, you don't even have to get the proof copy before you sell it. You can sell it without the proof copy, which is a risk. But I have several times run at risk because it takes so long to get the proof copy, and
especially here.
Yeah. So from now on, that won't happen because by giving that time to prepare things, I will order the proof copy, but not right away. I will wait a couple of weeks, then I'll order a proof copy, and when I get it, I will put it on sale. That will be that will probably solve the problems of having slight white bar sometimes. That didn't happen a lot of times, but it already happened. So, and obviously the mistakes. So
yeah,
1 month
on
is
drive-through every time. Let's go back to drive-through. Let's badmouth drive-through. Every time you change something, you have to order a new proof copy, and you can't sell it until you have the new proof copy. And actually, yeah, so even if it's other people already complained about this, even it's a really small change, like you're fixing just some typos, and it doesn't
it's
set
not
the layout.
Just the first time.
Yeah, you still have to do it. Yes, every time you change something, even if it's just one word, you need to ask for a new.
I guess it's good for them. They always sell at least one book. Probably that's one of the reasons many people don't have print versions, POD versions on drive-through, because they are. But that's not just the only problem. There's another one. Before it is allowed to be ordered as a proof copy, you have to wait until the printer does something. I don't know what. It's nothing really, because if you send a file with problems, they won't find them. So I don't think
they need to bless it.
I don't know. They have to receive it, basically. That's it probably. Someone has to check that there's a file there.
Yeah.
So they send the file to the printer, and sometimes takes up to 3 days. So they can clear it and say, okay, you can order now the proof copy. That's extremely boring, and that doesn't happen on Lulu. So just you see, you can.
Well, maybe because it's not an email. Somebody goes and sends the file on a diskette.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
floppy disk.
They are living in the past century. Yeah. There's someone watching.
Well, I don't know if this is right. There are 3 people watching. Poor. They don't. You guys have no lives.
I'm answering. I wasn't expecting people to be here.
I think people like life.
Yeah, probably. Well,
I prefer that.
We can do it again, maybe.
Yeah, because especially because it takes the part that when you don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to upload. But
you're getting lazy.
There's another thing here. You can have people, if there are people watching, of course. In this case, it was just a coincidence.
Something else that you want to talk about? You want to talk about space, the final frontier?
Yes, we can.
That's your life. They're supposed to rent.
Yes. Okay, so let's rent a bit. Oh, Calvanoni is here too. And I'm starting to like it.
Yeah, now you're liking it. You feel like people are watching. We can ask people what they want us to rant about. No, probably not a good idea.
I'm going to ask them.
Yeah. They can hear us. They can. Yeah, they can hear us. You don't have to write.
But I'm going to write anyway.
Okay. Just even to make sure that the deaf people that are watching the live stream feel.
Okay, that's 2 people.
Yeah. I think so. Maybe it's two. No, it's just as in someone else. I have no idea how this works.
Yeah, I don't know. No, well, but I don't know.
But you had 4, so people were here, but then they decided they had better things to do with their lives.
You guys are boring. Okay, so Space. I've started Space 3-4 days ago. Obviously, most of the rules are the same. So
we'll try to make sure that there are no pages missing.
Yes,
this time.
That's not a problem because the pages were all there, but
they weren't.
No, in the doc, in the doc.
But yes, exactly. I know, but they weren't on the final version.
There's a problem when you insert text on a page thing. It's not
Affinity.
Yeah, it's Affinity. I don't know
it got
what's it called. Yeah, because you can't if you copy the whole document and put it there will be problems because you have to slice it. You can just do a layout of a whole text or about half of it, and if you are working with 340.
Oh God.
Oh, another one. That's bad.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did notice.
Yeah, I did notice, but
I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah, I haven't seen him in a few days.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
So, are you anywhere else besides Facebook?
Isn't he in MeWe? I don't know. I don't use MeWe.
If he is, he isn't a regular.
Well,
user.
I'm on MeWe, but I don't use it. So I need to be careful what I say on Facebook. I just say all my stupid, nastier things on Twitter.
Yeah, if you get a boot, you can. And anyway, you can always do another account. Another account.
Okay, so Space. We're gonna have additions on Space. Yay.
We better explain that because. Not additions, but
additions. Additions, yes. I created a word that I can't say. Yay.
It sounds a bit like additions, and
additions.
It could be an addition, something that is going to be added. So, okay, let's go a little bit back then. Aliens. Even in Wretched Bastards, there were aliens. These ones she mentioned. So, Wretched Bastards is kind of a
stupid game.
Yes, but
sci-fi fantasy.
The mythology,
it's fantasy, but the mythology goes into sci-fantasy.
So those aliens were on Antilia. Antilia is obviously.
Can we write fuck on Twitter?
I don't Twitter.
Oh no, on
Probably, I think so. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Probably you can do your own censoring. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, we say fuck in the videos the whole time.
Yes, I don't think there's a problem. Well, there's a problem if you're monetizing this, but we aren't, so no problem. Okay, so in Wretched Bastards, we had already introduced the concept of aliens having been on Earth.
Aliens. Not Earth, Antilia, but yeah.
It's the same thing. So Antilia is the same planet, but in another dimension, alternate reality, call it.
It's very Nietzschean.
Or that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Like Andromeda,
yes,
there are Nietzscheans.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Oh, that's another... no, I'll leave that for another go. Talk. I'm going to ask that on the end.
No, I've lost.
Additions,
yes. Aliens. Okay, so additions. They were already invented by her, so we kept them. So in Space there will be a faction which will be the additions. Try MeWe probably.
Yeah, Dungeon Simp wanted to talk about Wretched Timeline.
Okay, the Wretched Timeline. Yes, that's okay. Let's
there
go.
Isn't.
Let's go into.
Well, there will be.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that we are making everything up. Well, we have kind of an idea, but we kind of make everything up while we are doing. That's the Portuguese way.
Yeah.
Is
What's it called?
Desenrasca?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, well,
you don't have a translation for this.
There's a okay. It's something like improvising.
Yes, exactly.
So we are desenrascating, which means improvising, kind of Portuguese improvisation, Portuguese improv. Okay, so but not it's not really bad because there's a kind of it frees you to add things. So if you haven't planned stuff since the beginning, you can go back and say, okay, this is here and this is there, so you're going to
well,
adjust
it's like
this to that.
like in a bad movie.
Like
But
in
it
that
makes
movie.
sense. In the end, it all ends up making sense. So, bastards.
Luckily, it
yes.
has been
It's
making
in the
sense.
past, but at the same time, that's not Earth. So we go with the because I don't like the idea there were elves and dwarfs on
No.
Earth once. That
It's
would be
not
stupid.
our Earth.
Exactly, it's
but
another
It's the
Earth.
same planet in another
Dimension, yes, alternative
dimension.
dimensions, or if you want to go in a Nietzschean way, the eternal. What is it called in English?
Eternal return.
The eternal return. So
So
all this has
eventually
happened again,
it happened.
and all this.
Or
Exactly.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, or Battlestar Galactica. That's easier. So it's an alternative past. Then we go with Ratchet Epoch and Ratchet Country. Those are actually the same time.
Yeah, they are at the same time. Even though the period for Ratchet Epoch is a little larger, it goes from the same time as country until the end of the beginning of World War One.
And that should be our Earth or another alternative Earth, as you prefer.
Well, the thing is, you can mix and match the things. So if Ratchet Country, if you are picking Ratchet Country and Ratchet Epoch, they are simultaneous. But you can decide if they are happening at the same time in the same dimension or not. Because there are some things happening in Ratchet Epoch that could alter the whole world. So experiments and all that. Eventually, it will get to the US, even if it started in Europe. So it will, it can have some drastic influence in Ratchet Country as well. But you can decide that no, not in my reality.
Yeah,
Not in-
Zenrasker.
Yeah, so not in my reality. But you can obviously do crossovers constantly, because in that case they are in the same time. But then there's the Beyond, and in
Yeah.
the Beyond
There is no time.
there is no time and there is no space. So basically, the Beyond, which was invented just for Ratchet
Yeah,
Epoch
by Joe Coombs was
by
actually
Joe
a great
Coombs,
idea.
yes, yeah, love the idea by Mr. Coombs. We can say that this idea saved us because it introduces this thing here that time and space have no meaning.
I'm gonna say something that you're going to hate, but this kind of reminds me of an episode of Doctor Who. What David Tennant was saying, that I don't remember the I think it was, or maybe it was Christopher Eccleston, I don't remember, but time was like I don't remember it now.
A box of chocolates.
No. It's something thing.
Oh yeah.
It's elastic.
Oh, it's a plastic. Made of
it's
plastic.
Exactly.
Okay, so the time is plastic or whatever. At least in the Beyond. So you can do crossovers using the Beyond. Traveling through time, traveling through space.
Traveling to different dimensions. Well, that is
Yes,
traveling to
that's-
space,
Yes.
more or less.
I'm not sure.
Then,
No, it's not.
no, well,
It's the fifth dimension.
okay,
probably.
yes. So then exploitation, it depends. It's from the 60s or the 50s until now. It doesn't really have a timeline. It's just that it's
Which-
not.
What?
Exploitation doesn't really
Oh
have
yeah,
a timeline.
the exploitation. 60s, from the 60s up to 80s, because in the 90s there were some.
It can get to the 90s. I think it can still use before the 90s. You're thinking because of
there
technology.
No, not just that, because it's supposed to be a genre. So
Yeah, I know. But there's still, I'm thinking about the
Yeah,
video
well,
mass, the straight to video, it was still strong in the 90s.
yeah, okay. Well, okay. Yeah, until the 90s. Doesn't mean that you can't that we can do something else in the 90s,
Yes.
because that's a very specific thing. Horror and
Well, you can do, if someone wants to play something that is happening today, this can still do it with
Oh, yeah,
exploitation. It's just not
obviously.
going to be.
It's not the timeline for that, but it's not. There's no problem with it. Also, because I don't think we are going to publish another horror game for Ratchet, at least the contemporary one. So, Ratchploitation is the horror game. It can work for. Well, it's not the horror game; it's the contemporary horror game.
Because
Epoch can be a horror game. Yeah, it works for that time. We are thinking about doing some other stuff. In Noir, for example, which will cover the 40s and
in
50s.
The 50s. And maybe a little bit of the 20s, 30s, I don't know.
30s, but the 20s could be something else. That I would.
An expansion, exactly.
I would do an expansion for Ratchet Epoch for the 20s, maybe from the 20s until the.
First of all,
the second.
From
the not really from the 20s, from the World War One until World War.
It could be Ratchet Between Wars.
Yeah. That's probably not the name.
Between Ratchet Wars.
That's not a good title.
Not good with names.
Let's think about something. I think the World War One would be a good place to put something. And as we have already mentioned, I was thinking also, and this could be an expansion to Epoch also, so the same expansion that could have different places where it could take place. I said it a while ago that we were planning on doing something inspired by Corto Maltese, by Hugo Pratt. And the Adventures of Corto take place in that time, a little bit before the war. Well, it takes place in several ages because it's from his youth until I don't know why. So it's post Belle Epoque. I think it's the themes it explores are also. Sometimes supernatural, sometimes political, sometimes pulpish. So it's a good thing to add, and it's also European comics like Adele Blanc-Sec. So it's.
I don't know if they were very popular on the US. I have no idea.
Probably the Adele Blanc-Sec wasn't popular.
No, she wasn't. Yeah, I know, but I don't know if Corto Maltese was.
Yeah, well, no,
it's popular.
I'm not
Europe,
sure.
So I have no
probably
idea.
Probably not. But well, at least there are movies, animated movies.
So and then there's Ratchet New Flash that is 30 years in the future.
Ratchet New Flash is late 21st century, I would say. I'm also planning eventually on doing something after that, so probably an expansion in time for Ratchet Epoch.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the question from Dungeon Simp was any Ratchet superhero settings, and
there will be. There
will be. I was going to say that actually it was my first idea.
I'm gonna turn that thing down because it's making weird noises.
There's something dying here. My first idea for Ratchet, before it was called Ratchet, was to do a vigilante game. Something that involves veteran heroes, old guys and girls,
like retired superheroes.
Not yet retired. Well, they were kind of led to retire because. Okay, so let's try to.
They were replaced by this.
So there were vigilantes, not quite superheroes. They probably. Very skilled people,
like
very strong.
Militaires, ninjas, spies, something like that. People with proper training.
People with very good training and very, very, very above.
Like Chris Pratt on the terminal list.
Yes, something like that. Yes. So not real superheroes, but vigilantes. But then something happens, and the corporation starts sponsoring a new batch of because the other ones, the first ones they were probably engaged the same way, so they were contracted by I don't know, governments or corporations or whatever to do the job of protecting people against crime and uber villains, not super villains as well.
But the new ones are
But
going to
the
be
new
like
ones-
influencers.
Yeah, the new ones will be stupid and irritating, and but sponsored, and they have high tech, and like the others were just very competent people. These ones will have high tech, and what else? Very perhaps even implants. I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
something like that.
It will depend. Yeah, you can go with.
Cybernetic or biotech.
Yeah,
like,
you can take it. You can steal it from Red
Yes,
Place.
like I can. No problem.
It's your
the
game.
author will not
You can
complain.
steal it. Yes.
And then what? And then okay, so at a point the old ones retire because they aren't needed. And what happens? They are wretched, obviously.
Yes,
So
of course.
they get drugged, they get high on drugs, and their lives are miserable because
Like the wrestler.
yeah, like the wrestler. So they are feeling miserable because they had a purpose in life, which was kick the hell out of criminals, probably not save people, but just.
And then the other guys are so good, they're gonna completely or
Yeah.
almost destroy crime.
Yeah, so they overshadow the other guys. But then, what happens is that the influencers and the ridiculous new heroes start using their power and their influence in their own behalf, and they turn into uber villains themselves. So they destroy the villains, but they
Take their
became
place.
yeah, they took their place. But since they were sponsored by corporations and governments and all that, and they gave them lots of stuff and money and I don't know, bases and minions and all that, they used all that against the rest of the world. So they turned very dangerous. And now it's time for the old guys to come back and kick some ass again. I think this is. I like it. I don't know. I like the idea. Probably it's a bad idea, but I like it anyway. I like the idea of these guys who were almost everybody liked them, but then they forgot them. And
They were cancelled.
They were cancelled. Yes, they were cancelled, and then they have to come back to save everybody's ass. Well, not really because of that, but just
Because they want to.
because they want to.
Yeah, it's a proud thing.
And then the JK says, fuck you. Oh yeah, they have many defects.
Oh yes.
They will be pretty defective. That will be well. I don't have that one planned. I
Yeah,
don't know
probably
when.
going to be next year. Well,
Yeah,
when
no,
I say
it's-
probably going to be next year, you know how he is. He's probably going to decide after Space. Oh, now I'm going to do the superhero game.
It could happen that I introduced this one in a slot that wasn't occupied by something else. I don't know. Well, right now it will be Space. What happens after Space? I don't know. Probably I will do some layouts for other things.
Mm-hmm. I'm writing an adventure. I wrote an adventure finally.
She
I'm
fin-
writing another one. I hope I can finish it this week, and then I'm going to start writing something for Epoch.
So Sylvia finished Labia,
Yeah,
which is a Wretched Bastards fantasy
it's a
adventure.
dungeon
It's a dungeon. So
about a vagina, a
about-
cursed vagina.
and I'm going to interrupt Space probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow to do the layout for that one, to do the dungeon, and so I can publish it next week.
In this week,
This week,
the
the
memorial is gonna
memorial
go out.
will be published, and I will release it earlier again on the big Geek Emporium. I don't know when, probably tomorrow or Wednesday, I think. Wednesday is a good day. To give it some days without being
Without them
on
being on drive-thru.
drive-thru. Of course, I have to put it on drive-thru. I can't avoid DriveThru for now. But well, okay. If you don't want to give money to DriveThru, there's always an option. And in this case, there was an option before, but I don't think many people wanted to buy ebooks on Lulu, and probably
this is a part of people getting used to using a site. I can totally understand
I guess
that.
it's that. And because they want to buy, people want to buy not just one thing but several things at the same time, and if you are buying from a store that's just our store in this case, there aren't other options. And Lulu has other things, but not many. And people who sell on Lulu are usually selling just print copies, not ebooks. I decided to put the ebooks there just because there was that problem with that thing called
Sexual Holocaust.
There are other games, we can talk about them.
What we are planning or what?
Yes, the planned ones, but those also don't have any schedule time.
Well, I'm gonna do probably next year because I still have lots of ideas. Yes, I still have a lot of adventures, ideas that I want to do. So I'll try to do all the adventures or most of them this year. I'll try not to get any more ideas. I get too many ideas sometimes, and then I want to do Ratchet's urban fantasy game.
I like the idea, but I don't.
He hates urban fantasy, so I have to do it myself.
Well,
you hate it. Maybe it's a bit strong word, but no, not really.
I do not hate everything. I think that the one we are going to do,
of course,
you are going to do, and I'm going to lay out and whatever. Is not going to be the same shit that usual people like Monster Hearts and that squishy, stupid things.
No, it's going to be Ratchet, and it's going to be
not fluffy,
grim,
not fluffy vampires.
And it's going to be sexy, yeah.
So it's going to be different, but I'm not the person to work on that.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I'm going to use the Beyond because I like the idea of the Beyond, and it helps. It's very good with something else that I wanted to steal. So the Beyond is perfect for that. Yeah, I'm going to steal lots of things. Not so much. It's probably going to appear that I'm stealing a lot from Neil Gaiman's Sandman, but not really. There will be something that is common is the part that the grimminess and the pop culture references. And the fables, of course. I may call it Ratchet Fables, but I don't want people to confuse it with Fables, the comics. So I'm probably going to have to come out with another name.
Well, there are some similarities, but yes.
We'll think about that.
Change the name, yes.
But that's going to be for next year, for sure.
Wasn't there something else?
Ideas for games?
Yeah.
We always have ideas for games. The ones that we are really planning on doing.
This Storms.
We need to figure out what is it's actually fun. We need to do this once a week, but we need to figure out what is the best time for people.
Yeah, well, this would probably be better if you had a guest.
Yeah, no. Well,
but I don't think we can have a guest in here.
There's a way to do it because I know that.
I'm not sure. No, I mean using
in the studio. Probably gonna have to pay because a lot of people do it.
Here in this,
I have no idea how they do it, but I know the damn it, Legion of Myth. I know they stream somewhere, but they use it. Yeah, I know, but they do the stream and then they send it here.
Yeah, but of course, I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, you have to use something else, not just this.
Yeah, I know.
This is just for probably one computer. I don't know. I don't think that's the way.
Yeah, you need to figure out how to do that.
Well,
because that will be fun.
You know how it is. Someone talked about that.
I don't remember. Do you think I remember?
Something stream something.
But that's actually we had an idea of not exactly doing interviews, but just having some people coming in, and we could just talk about stupid shit.
If we did that, it would be.
It would be better to do it on by streaming.
Yeah, by streaming. Yes. I think this time is still too early for the US.
We can do it after dinner.
Yeah,
you can do it drunk.
probably it will be interesting.
That's gonna be fun. We can have those talks that we have around the kitchen table on live on YouTube, and then people can really say bad things about us.
Well, we can do it on the
What are the games that we are going? What are games that you forgetting? What games are we forgetting? There is the Apocalypse one.
Oh yeah.
There is the Mutant Chronicle-ish one.
You can say that.
There's a lot of ideas for games. The problem is the time.
Okay, so I think Kunz already did something for that thing that.
Fallout is not Fallout.
No,
it's apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic
game.
thing.
Yes.
I'm going to have sometime I'll have to take a look at that.
Look at it and see.
And decide what I'm going to add. I had an idea of doing something like that. What kind of games do we specialize in? Yeah. What kind of games? Well, right now I'm not specializing in anything. Right?
Well, I think one thing that we can say about horror is obviously our favorite genre, and even the adventures that I'm writing for fantasy, they all have like a dark side.
Well, probably we could say that they are all dark.
Yeah, and it's kind of cinematic because we use a lot of influences on films. That's why most of our games are kind of copying movie genres, and I think that's going to continue to happen in movies. Yes,
specific movies we like to steal
weird stuff. So probably
dark,
weird,
cinematic, and the ratchet. The ratchet part means that sleazy and playing anti-heroes, because that's I would say that's. Even though the other things are very influential in terms of an original story. Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
we like to steal things,
but we sometimes are also original.
Yeah.
Well, my vagina adventure is original.
Yes.
Yeah, I just said my vagina is original on YouTube.
I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah.
It's not for kids.
No.
As they ask.
Though I would like to do a kids game also. A Reds kids game.
Yeah.
I can try that with my niece.
And you can publish it after that.
Yeah, I have once upon a time on Christmas, 2 years ago, I got Pinhead's action doll, and my niece left it. She wants to know Pinhead's story, and then I had my sister looking at me and saying, "No, you're not gonna tell."
Okay, so this is Storms. If you want to tell us your idea, you can do it there, or you can just send an email or something. There's a link for our site.
Yeah.
The movie Spaceballs. Well, I guess the next one is the well, not.
Yeah, they're gonna be space for that on Space.
On Ratchet Space, we can do a Spaceballs. Yes, we can do a Spaceballs. I think we can do actually Spaceballs, but something.
Well, we are doing space.
So Star Wars
opens exactly. So we are doing Space Open. It's of course fantasy, not fantasy, it's space opera, because it's not heavy fantasy, but we are doing it open, so then people can adapt it to different genres. So if you want to play Spaceballs, you can put Spaceballs. If you want to play something a little bit more serious, you're probably not going to use our game to do it, but you can.
So what I was planning for Space is what we're going to do right now, and probably publish it next month, or I don't know, somewhere around it. Will be a set of rules which has a kind of small introduction to a setting. I will do that setting. It's the default setting, which is about the characters being members of a special troop called the Ratchet. Well, that's not the official name, but it will be the Ratchet Legion.
Yeah, it's the Foreign Legion on Space.
Yeah, Foreign Legion in Space. They will be people who were imprisoned because they committed crimes, and they are given a pardon. But the pardon has a a cost, the price. The price is they have to work for the Federation. And their work will be to go into the Outer Rim and patrol the area, which is assigned to them, and arrest or kill criminals and smugglers and pirates and whatever, rebels. Yes, the Rebel Alliance. Crush the fucking Rebel Alliance. Yeah.
I kind of have a stupid, just had a stupid idea right now. What if the Federation is like the Portuguese when they were an empire? So they will be the worst federation in the world. So that's not
I planned it would be a very bad federation. I was thinking about the European Union when I thought.
Yeah, no, but then I'm thinking about it's more evil and more colonialist. If it's the Spanish or the Portuguese.
Yeah, that's kind of no. There's a colonialist mindset with because.
Yeah, it's going to be a federation, but let's imagine that it was
occupating. So there's an idea.
Yeah, they're colonizing.
The planets in the Outer Rim, they want to get out of the Federation because they want to. Okay, so they think they want to get out of the Federation because they want liberty, but obviously the Federation is very ineffective and bureaucratic and evil, maybe. But they have lots of resources.
Yeah, I think better than being incompetent, it's a lot better than being evil. Yeah. Well, it's eviler than being incompetent. But sometimes it's worse than pure evil.
Obviously, the guys who are living on those backwater backwater planets, worlds, they don't have resources. So if they get independence, they will just be a shithole. So they want to be independent shitholes. But the Federation wants to keep them there, but they don't want to spend lots of resources.
People are going to say this is politic.
Well, it is. But not in a real-world way. Obviously, because all these concepts, they aren't modern concepts. This is something that always happens.
Yes, of course.
So that's not real. Well, we can say
everything is real-world politics. Oh my God!
It can be a reflection on real-world politics, but not politics as they are happening right now. Nobody is Trump. Nobody is. That old guy. Nobody is. Nobody. Even if I mentioned the European Union, it's just because.
Yes.
Well, and no one cares about that. No one cares about the European Union. So okay, the Federation is incompetent and they don't want to spend lots of resources controlling what happens on the Outer Rim. So they have this thing called the Legion, and they send pardoned criminals. I thought that there would be something to keep them from running away, such as the old. Let's implant a nanobomb in their bloodstream trick. But then someone told me that another idea.
A better idea.
I'll probably use both ideas. The ship's AI is obviously controlled by the owners.
It's the warden.
Yeah. So it's the ship's AI that controls the bombs. So if they behave, they live. If they don't behave, their heads explode, and that's not good. So they have to work for the Federation, doing their. Well, it could be Calvanani is mentioning a parody of the parody about
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Well, it could be a parody.
It could become serious.
Yeah, maybe a parody of the.
It's gonna become fast. Yeah.
The parody of the parody, probably not, but it could work if it was
a parody.
Just a parody. Not a parody of Spaceballs, but something like Spaceballs that is a parody of all the space operas. Or we can just do what we usually do because it's always a parody. Well, anyway, that's an idea for later. The first setting will be this one. So it can allow for dark humor, but not something like, not a parody. Maybe a satire. Parody is probably too much. So this will be our first setting for space. I'm not sure if there will be any other setting. Probably yes. I don't know. Well, there's another option. we didn't mention that a lot, but people can do things for.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
They can, if someone wants to do a setting or even a game.
Yeah, or an adventure, whatever.
Or an adventure, scenario, or one
rules,
shot,
you are free to do
dungeon,
that.
whatever. Yeah, they can publish it if they want, or they can send it to us to so we can publish it ourselves.
Yeah, because he loves doing layouts.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. But it's your show. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
but you are free if you want to write anything based on.
I thought about
shit,
doing
no
I can't remember what's it called when you put
the OGL.
No. It's there's another name for that. The OGL is the document that you can use to, but no, that's not it. That's the version of the rules you put there usually in the Microsoft Word document that people can use to do their own.
But the rules are always changing.
So yeah, that's the problem. I would have to do a set of rules that's generic. So people, I'm not really in the mood for that right now. But you can. There's no problem. Also, if you want to ask us before, you can ask us, and I can send you not really that version, but I can send you some of the rules. Probably Actually, the space, the Ratchet Space rules is almost that, because it has magic, it has magic, ritual magic for conjures. Not because people will be doing a lot, but you
can go to a planet and there.
Also shamanic magic, and that probably will be more used because. I don't know. It rings.
What we're not gonna have is a spaceship that is controlled by cannibals.
No,
because that's stupid.
No, we're not going to have that. And psychics, there will be psionics as well, and technology, but also melee weapons, primitive melee weapons, because you can find a primitive planet, and then you can find something that is modern. So there will be weapons for all those things. I'm going to use the even though in Retroplantation I did a shorter version of the melee weapons. Then this one I will put the whole list that was in Wretched Bastards and the other ones. So it will be almost a generic game, because that's obvious. That's the kind of thing. Because it's a space opera. In Ratchet New Flash, I didn't mention primitive technology, but in this one I think it's supposed to be. There are some other kind of plans, things that I have, and that's for a setting, not for a game. I had this idea, originally it would be for a game, but not necessarily, and right now it will not be a game, because Ratchet New Flash will be the game, of adapting several movies, not adapting the movies, of course, I'm not going to pay for that, but the idea is the concept of the movies, 70s science fiction movies, such as Rollerball and Silent Green, and a bit of some others, Logan's Run, and 70s science fiction. I like it very much. I think it's also Barbarella, and the aesthetics of all this, Zardos, a few more,
Flash, no.
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange, of course.
And although that one isn't from the 70s, also that movie with Sean Connery, Outland. Yeah. So all those movies I like them all, and I think they could be. Probably what I'll do is a world book for Ratchet New Flash. And I will put
different cities with different countries with different styles.
Yeah, well, cities, because it's the. So we have Validad, it's a city, and then we have Lisbon, and all bets are off.
No, different cities in different countries, but I mean all over the world.
It will be centered in cities. So each city that will be used will have some kind of characteristic that makes it special and strange. Of course, in the original, Rollerball is a world sport, but I already cannibalized that concept. called it something else. Though even though in the game it was inspired by Rollerball, so it's called Roller Clash, and it's a sport and it's starting to be popular in other countries. What I'm going to do is choose a country where Roller Clash, I mean, Roller Clash will become such a big success that will turn into the national pastime quickly. And I probably already did that, but I'll have to check. There was some country that was using it a lot. The other stories I'll have to adapt them to some other place. Silent Ring will probably it will not be in the US, maybe, or maybe perhaps it could be in the US. It could be probably in a place where an atomic what nuclear power plant had some kind of malfunction, and in that area things went to hell, and maybe it's just localized thing, a city where people are hungry and
desperate
and sick and desperate. Yes, so that's another idea. Well, okay, I think
that's enough.
That's enough for today. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you are still there, if you are not,
there's still 4 people there.
Yeah,
and we'll try to do this another time.
We'll try to do this another
and
time.
At a better hour, and probably announce it.
And announce it
before.
Yes, I think we'll have an interview. Well, not quite an interview.
A chat, an interview, whatever.
A chat for tomorrow with.
Braven.
With Braven, just bought Legend Country. I'm running a 70th Street crime game, taxi drivers.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. So, we have done it.
Yeah, Redsploitation.
I wouldn't say that it's. I wasn't thinking exactly about Taxi Driver and Mean Streets, but Superfly is a exploitation movie.
Yeah, and you can try. We have the quick start for Redsploitation, right?
Well, we have a quick start for everything.
Yeah, that is free.
And they aren't just 10 pages. They are I'm not sure how many pages long is Redsploitation, but probably 50 or something like that. So you can maybe I can put a link here.
Yeah, I think you can put a link.
I'll put a link for Big Geek Importing, maybe.
You have that free there?
It's not. I don't think it's free here. Well, but anyway, you can take a look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know if you have the quick start there. That's what I was thinking. If you have the book but not the quick start.
No, it's there.
There. I didn't saw them. Well, probably didn't saw them when they were.
It's difficult to find because. So you can check that. That's just rules. Okay, so. Before we go, since we mentioned this,
Big Geek Emporium.
Yeah, Big Geek Emporium. If you don't know what's that,
actually, it's a very cool place to find. It's becoming a very cool place to find indie games.
We're also on Hulu, but buy it there.
Yeah, because the site needs to grow.
Yeah, that's it. And
I think I'm gonna buy the one about the 80s high. Though we're probably not gonna play it, but it's cool. We can play. We can do a fame campaign.
But since we're talking about this, I'm mentioning something else that I want to do, and that one was supposed to be a plan for kind of a short for a short time, not a short time.
It doesn't shut up.
Yeah. So 70s cop 70 cops cop movies,
but inspired in the European version also.
Yes, but it's basically something because it's called, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's Polizioteki or Polizioteki. what's that? So that was the Italian version of things like Harry Kellen and the Harry Kellen movies, Lightning Force and all that, and Charles Bronson movies also. So that violent cop thing, violent cop or vigilante of the 70s. So that's also a plan.
But it's probably going to be a game, just a setting in
it won't be a game,
exploitation.
no. It will be a setting for exploitation, for exploitation, but it will be probably more on, not probably, certainly more on the action side of it and less on the cult or all that. Okay, so we basically talked about everything in this. So we were saying goodbye.
Yeah, let's go with the goodbye, and that's it. And we'll do this another time.
Oh yeah,
an interview tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's probably not going to be streamed.
I don't think so, because we'd have to discover until tomorrow how well, not how, but how to work with whatever it is.
Yeah, it's better than last time we did an
maybe
interview.
I'll give it a try.
Out.
I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a try.
I was cut it out last time we did an interview.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was Skype. We won't use Skype. Okay, so I may give it a try. One of those sites or softwares used for that. Okay, so bye bye for now.
Okay, we're off.